Hi, everybody. Welcome. The inaugural run of short yoga sequence on Zoom. So, hey, I'm Lisa. Good to see you guys out there. We are going to start this morning like we normally start in the studio. I'll point out a few things that will be really handy for this practice. I have a chair, nice to have if you have the space for it. I have a nice thick blanket that I can open up and roll into thirds. Other things that work well for this can be a beach towel. I'm going to fold it up into thirds and set it in the middle of my mat. I have a yoga strap. Do you need to have a yoga strap? No, you don't need a yoga strap, but if you have one, great. Things are on sale right now. A lot of good deals online to get blocks and strap. If you have a strap, go ahead and create a little loop in it. If you don't have a strap, things that work well are a bathrobe tie or an old men's tie, like for a shirt. That's an option as well. So have those things handy as we begin. So you're going to lay your blanket folded in thirds on your mat. And I call this option to create a little bit of a headrest, a little pillow support underneath your neck here. We're going to be on hands and knees. We're going to come to seated at the end of the blanket, keeping those knees bent and the tailbone and the glutes on the blanket. Slowly lay down onto your mat and blanket support. And you can reach back and create a little bump underneath your neck to support the back of the head. You want to be very comfortable here. We've got the arms out to the side with the palms turned up to the ceiling, and go ahead and allow those eyes to close. Let's take a moment and really slow down the breath. Take a nice, slow, smooth inhale through the nose. And a slow, easy exhale. Sink into the support of that blanket. And we'll do that 2 more times. A nice slow inhale through the nose, drawing that breath into the belly and all the way up under the collarbones. And slowly exhaling through the nose. We'll do that 1 more time. Inhale into the belly. Draw that breath all the way in, filling up the chest. This time as you exhale, think about softening your forehead, releasing your jaw. Allow those forearms to feel heavy on the floor. And then just allow the breath to find its normal, easy rhythm. Now we're going to add a couple lengthening breaths here. Lengthen your inhale to a count of 3, counting to yourself. And exhale to the count of 4. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling 3. And exhaling 4. Option to sigh it out if you like. Sink into the support of that blanket. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale 3. Exhale 4. Now lengthen your next inhale to a count of 4. To match that 4 count exhale. And just release that breathing technique. Notice if you feel the face is a little more relaxed, the torso a little more relaxed. And bend those knees again if by chance you've straightened them. Very slowly, we're going to begin to roll over onto our side. So I'm keeping my knees bent. I'm rolling onto my right side. Stacking the knees on top of one another, coming off the blanket just a bit, supporting my head with my bent arms here. Smooth, steady breath. And then using that top arm, begin to press yourself back up to seated. Keep that blanket near you, but you can set it off of the mat. We're going to come back into that same position of laying on our backs with our knees bent, feet hip distance apart. And I'm taking my arms out in a Shavasana position, removing the hair clip. So wherever the arms can be comfortable and relaxed and you feel like you have a nice openness across the front of the chest, we're focusing now here on some movement of the pelvis and focusing in on the belly. We're going to inhale through the nose, and as you exhale, begin to see if you can press your low back into the mat and still keep the shoulders a little bit relaxed, chest open, and a little breath moving through the torso. And then let it all go. You might feel the back come off the floor a little bit, off your mat a little bit. The movement could be small, or it could be a little big depending on the natural tilt of your pelvis. Inhale again through the nose. Exhaling, press the low back down into the mat. Try not to let the legs take over or the arms. Keeping the hands relaxed, wiggle those fingers a little bit here. Isolating those lower abdominals. And then let that go. We're going to do that one more time. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling, gently press the low back into the floor, into the mat. Relax the front of the chest, relax the jaw. Easy, smooth breath. And then on your exhale, let everything go. Draw those knees in toward the chest for a little hug. You can hold on either to the back of the hamstrings or up on top of the shins. Rocking side to side. And then bring the palms of the hands to the kneecaps and circle those knees in either direction. Let's circle them the other way. Noticing where we might be feeling tight in the back of the pelvis. And then roll to your side and begin to press yourself back up. We're coming onto hands and knees. You're always welcome to use a blanket or your beach towel underneath the knees. We're going to come into all fours. Wrists right under shoulders, knees right under hips. Trying to see myself here. On your inhale, belly will drop toward the floor. Chin will lift to level. And exhale, arch back up into the cat arched pose. Inhale, belly drops, chin lifts. Exhale, arch back up. Press into the hands here, strong arms. Inhale, belly drops, chin lifts. Exhale, arching up into cat. We're taking the spine through flexion and extension. I'm going to turn forward. Face you guys. On the inhale, belly drops, chin lifts. And exhale, arch up into cat. And then notice I'm playing around with my elbows a little bit here. We're trying to keep them as straight as we can. Sometimes we have a tendency when we drop the belly toward the floor to want to bend those elbows. As long as you can keep the arms straight without any discomfort. So go ahead and do 2 or 3 more of these on your own. And then we're going to sit back into child's pose, taking the knees out toward the edge of the mat. Here's an option if you're feeling extra tight. Use your towel on top of your calf muscles. Take the knees out wide and sit back over that blanket support. Now arms, couple of options here. I want the forehead to be supported. So You can rest your forehead on the back of your hand. You can reach the arms out, palms on the mat, if the forehead will reach the mat comfortably. Smooth, steady breath here. This is always your go-to resting pose. A nice slow, deep inhale. On the exhale, hands will come back toward the knees. Press back up to hands and knees position. We're going to work on a really great posture strengthening pose called bird dog. Sometimes we call this opposite arm, opposite leg. So make sure you have space behind you. Like, look, I'm going to kick my chair. So I'm going to scoot forward a little bit here. I'm going to straighten my left leg behind me. Actually, let's do it on the right side first so you can see it a little better. Right leg straightens, toes are on the mat. I'm thinking about being strong in the arms, gazing down at the mat. And on the exhale, I'm going to lift that right leg at most to hip height. Toes are pointing down to the mat. And reach that heel straight back behind you. And then set it down. We'll do the other side. So straighten that left leg. Toes are on the mat. Pull your belly in. Lift that left leg up. Smooth, steady breath. When we gaze down at the hands, we have this length in the neck. So we are not hanging the neck here. We're keeping the neck lengthened. Let's take it back to the right side again. Right leg straightens. Pull the belly in. Right leg lifts. Here's your option to add the arm. Left arm reaches forward. If you're wobbling, bring the left arm back to the mat. This is more of a strength challenge. If you care to make it really challenging, lift the left arm up. And let's try the other side. Left leg straightens, pull the belly in, left leg lifts. Here are your options. So there's plenty of work just doing the legs only and staying strong on the leg that's on the mat. Option to reach the right arm forward here. Keep the right pinky on the mat. Or as you exhale, lift the right arm up. Reach the right fingers away from the left heel. And on your exhale, set it down. Option to do one more of those if you would like. And I'm going to peek and see where we're headed next. Here, we're going to move into some kneeling lunges. This is where the blanket support will be really nice and handy again. So I'm creating a little bit of support for my knees. Blocks. What might you use for blocks? I wonder if some of those, like you get your almond milk or some of those containers might work. They might be a little squishy, and we are going to use the block between. Okay, I'm just going to skip that idea. I'll come up with some other ideas. Chair could be really handy here. So I'll show it first with the blocks, and then I'll show you how to use it with the chair. Let's skip the soup container idea. So I'm going to set the blocks under my left hand, and I've stacked them on the high side. Then I'm going to bend the right leg up. And I'm looking for this vertical shin. So right knee staying directly over the ankle. My left hand is on those blocks, and then I'm pulling the belly in toward the spine, which gives me a nice stretch on that left quad. If you feel steady, you're looking for a little extra challenge, bring hands to heart center. And bring those arms overhead. Keep pulling the belly in. On the exhale, take a block, one in each hand. Right toes will scooch forward. These blocks are going to be right under your shoulders. Now I've lengthened out into a runner's lunge with the back knee on the blanket. Great stretch for the hip flexor. Smooth, steady breath. And for those of you that have been practicing for a while, here's your option to bring hands to heart center, which is a strength and balance challenge. And grow them overhead. Bring those hands back to heart center. Find the blocks. Walk them back toward the other knee. We'll switch sides. So how would this look with a chair? Well, I'll just spin around. So seat of the chair is your balance option here. And it can be nice because it will keep your leg at a nice vertical shin. So pretend I've moved my blocks over to the right side, or I just face my chair seat, right? Or left knee is up, pull the belly in toward the spine, tuck the tailbone down. That gives you that extra stretch on the right quad. You can stay right here. You can bring hands to heart center. You can bring arms overhead. If you're feeling a lot of discomfort in the knee, there are some options here. You can create a little bit higher of a support with your blanket and have the kneecap. You can see this. My right kneecap is not on the blanket, nor is it pressing into the mat. This can be helpful if it's uncomfortable on your knee. Now, where would we go as we come into the stretch a little deeper? You'd have to wiggle your chair a little bit forward, left toes heel toe forward, and we stretch out over the seat of the chair. Giving me an idea for something else, but we'll save that for another class. So your options on this side again were hands to heart center, arms overhead. If you're wobbly, just work on the form right here. And on the exhale, we'll bring the left knee back to the blanket. And we're gonna work on my favorite stretch for the hips and hamstrings. So this is where your tie or your yoga strap would be handy. You'll make a roll with your blanket. I'm trying to do this so you guys can see me. If you've got a strap loop, you can be generous with the size of the loop. If you're using just a tie, like a bathrobe tie or a regular tie, you're gonna place your foot right in the middle of that strap. I wanna make sure that you guys can see me before I get all these props going. So set up just like we began. Knees bent, coming down onto our back. Slip the right foot into the loop or in the middle of the tie. Straighten the right leg up to the ceiling. Now, I'm not going to move my blanket over just yet, but I'm going to work on that stretch in the right, back of the right leg, straightening my right knee as much as I can. Now, if you're really tight, you're going to keep that left knee bent. If you're okay, you practice for a while, you're going to straighten that left leg out and pretend like you're pressing that left foot into a wall or side of a couch. And we're going to do the other side before we take the legs out to the side. So switching the loop over to my left foot, straightening the left leg up toward the ceiling. My left arm is straight. My left leg is as straight as I can get it. You might be out here. Just make your loop a little bigger. You might be holding on to the strap, but keeping the right leg straight is going to give you a little extra help in the flexibility department. And then if you care to, go ahead and straighten that right leg. Actively press the right foot into an imaginary wall. Smooth, steady breath. Bend that right knee again. Take the strap loop off. Now you're going to invite that blanket roll to come on in next to you. This is going to sit snug by my right hip. I'm trying to make it small enough so you can still see me. Block can also work here, but the blanket is very comfortable. So I'm laying down with that blanket right next to me. Oh, everybody, here's the dog. This is Blazer. Let's give him a little cameo. Hi, everybody. Blazer. I figured at least he's not barking unless he sees it. You know, one of those things that runs along the fence. We're not going to say the word because he'll bark. So he's going to help me finish this. This should be entertaining. Very nice down dog. So placing the strap loop around the arch of the right foot. Starting again in this first position, my left knee is bent, my right leg is straight up to the ceiling. Now here's where you'll check in. Snug that blanket up close to the right hip. Oh, look, everybody, there's my slipper. Now you have an option of straightening the left leg or keeping the left knee bent as you take the right leg out to the side. Left arm is going to reach out from your left shoulder, palm facing up to the ceiling. You can stay here as long as you like. It's a great stretch, but you want to stay active through that left leg. You can even reach up and see if the left hand, placing it on your left hip to make sure that left hip is staying for the floor. Then press the left arm into the floor as you inhale that right leg up to the ceiling. Find the tail of the strap, lower it all the way down. Some of you might know the tricky switch here to slide your left foot into the loop, take the right foot out. We'll bend the right knee, move the blanket across the body. Bring that left leg up to the ceiling. Now, if you're doing this with a single strap, you probably have both hands up here, that's fine. Giving you an option here, if you're feeling really tight in the hips and hamstrings, keep your right knee bent. Otherwise, straighten the right leg and take the left leg out to the side. And this is kind of nice. You see that my left ankle is sitting, resting against the side of this end table. If you're really tight in the inner thigh here, this can feel very nice to not stretch too deeply, giving the ability to relax a little bit more. Begin to press the right forearm into the floor as you bring the left leg back up to the ceiling. Here's an option to bend the right knee if you like as you lower the left leg all the way down. Take the strap entirely off. And because this is a shorter practice, we're going to do one more stretch for the inner thigh. So we have our blanket support, tri-folded like how we started. Option to use blocks here if you have them. Now I'm sitting in front of the blanket, but my glutes are on the mat. I'm laying back onto the blanket. I'm creating that support for my neck. I'm allowing the soles of the feet to come together, and I'm taking the knees out to the side. I have the blocks turned at an angle and snug up against the upper thighs. Take the arms out to the side, palms turn up to the ceiling, and allow those eyes to close. If this is uncomfortable in any way, your option is just to straighten the legs out in front of you. Turn the palms up to the ceiling. Smooth, steady breath. A nice, slow, deep inhale. Drawing that breath all the way up into the chest. A slow, complete exhale. Allow the breath to breathe you. And on your next inhale, bend the knees, bring the feet to the mat. Roll to your side, supporting the head with the arms. When you're ready, begin to press up to seated. Come onto your support or onto your chair. Bring the hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you.